Hello everybody. I had some requests for a how-to video for some buttons that I had posted the other day on Junk Journal Deutsch Facebook group, and I'll give credit where credit is due. A lot of this inspiration and how-to was already done in some videos by Louise Heinzel, and I kind of ran with the idea that she had shared with us in that video. So I'm learning how to do YouTube videos, so please bear with me. I will try to find the link to Louise's original video and post it if I can figure out how to do that. So the buttons that I am referring to are these cute little guys here that I put on the group page the other day, and I think this one is my absolute favorite, and I'll show you all how I did that one. And then another example is this lovely little guy, and then here is another one. And again, these are done with simple tools. A hole punch. You could use, for buttonholes, you could use an awl, or if you have a paper punch, you could use that, or if you have a crocodile, you can use the crocodile. Your choice. They all kind of have similar results in the end. So in Louise's tutorial, she had glued together several book pages, and I had trouble with that method, and it could be because of the glue stick that I used, or maybe the temperature down here where I live. I'm in Georgia, and it gets quite hot down here. It would glue down fine, the book pages, but then after it would completely dry, the layers would peel apart, so that wasn't working for me. So then I thought, well, instead of using book pages, what else can I use that's already the thickness that I want? And then I have some packaging material, and you know, all of us junk journalers, we love our packaging material. I just, you know, as I'm getting packages, and I don't let hubby throw anything away. It comes to me, and if I could salvage something from it, I will. So here are two Townhouse cracker packages. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my paper punch, and I'm going to punch out a circle. Very simple, and it's already pretty thick. You could punch out two of them, and then what I did was I punched out two to see the thickness first, which I liked that thickness. It's not going anywhere, and it's still nice and flat for the inside of a journal. And instead of using a glue stick, I used my favorite glue in the world, which is the Art Glitter Glue. This might look a little different than the bottle you're used to, because in my junk journal world, everything that I can touch with material I will, and I will make it something with more pizzazz. So that's why my bottle might look different than yours. So yeah, all I would do, and I really am not worried about the back side because it's going to glue to the page, but if you don't want that back side to show, you could definitely glue together the two sides that are the marketing side of the package. You just want to make sure they're good and lined up. And I love this Art Glitter Glue because it dries relatively quickly, and it dries clear. And I'll just set that there for a moment. And then I'm going to show you the paper I'm going to cover the button with. I have several different papers here, and I'll try to see if I could find the link that Louise did on this as well. This method is really, really great, and I think that's why a lot of people love this effect, and it looks dimensional, and some people thought it was a sugar cookie or something to that effect. But what it basically is embossed paper that I had used the oxide ink on. You take the matte photo paper, which I probably do this more than running matte photo paper through my printer these days, just because I love playing with the oxide inks to get these effects. So what you do is you take your photo paper, you take embossing folder that you like, and you want to wet down your photo paper completely and saturate it. Before you do that though, the easiest thing to do is get the blank photo paper and put it, the whole sheet, in your folder, lining it up. And once it's closed, you could just tear along the folder so you're not wasting paper, and you're going to get a full sheet that's the same size as your embossing plate. So once you tear the paper down, before you put it in, you're going to wet the paper and soak it on both ends, get it good and wet, and then take the oxide ink of your desired color, and you're going to smear it onto your embossing folder on the side that is not going to take the indent. This side right here, and you probably can't see it very well in the camera, but if you were to feel it, you would know that this is the raised up design here. So this is the part that's going to push up into this top, if that makes sense. So once you have your paper wetted, you're going to take the part of the plate that is where the paper is going to push down into, and you're going to rub your ink into the top of that. And then when you put your paper in and you run it through, it is going to keep that part that pushed up pretty much a whiter color, and the dark oxide is going to be in the recessed part. And this is Vintage Photo, which gives off a beautiful rust look to it. Here's one that is Wild Honey, and I'm sorry, it's so pixelated here. I don't know why. Let's see if I could get this to focus in. That's Wild Honey. This one here is Forest Moss. Now this one was not ran through an embossing folder, but I've been using this too. That's how this button wasn't through an embossing folder, but it was matte photo paper sprayed with water, and then I inked up a stamp and stamped it into the wet paper and gave a lot of pressure, and it gives a nice messy stamp image and gives some of that nice oxide clarity to where the pressure of the stamp was, if that makes sense. Here is another embossed one with Villainous Potion. This one is with Forest Moss. And I hope this video comes out better than it's looking in my screen here. There we go. Yeah. Here's some dots that were done with, I believe this one was Ground Espresso. And then this one here was Aged Mahogany. Nice, pretty lace pattern. So once you do your pages and you let them dry, then you can have them here to figure what part of the image you like the best for the size of the button. And you can flip your hole punch upside down so you can see through the circle punch what image you're going to actually be punching on. And I kind of like this right about here. See if that'll focus. Yep, there we go. Looks like lace. So I'm going to punch that out. And then I'm going to glue that down onto my button. And my desk is quite messy. That's how I roll. I am a very messy crafter. But when I'm done, everything typically goes back into its place. And just circle around with your fingers so that you can feel that you're lined up. I mean, pretty easy, right? Now, to give this the kick that these buttons have, and Louise said this in her video, she used the Ranger Glossy Accents, and I'm new to this product. Just got it a couple weeks ago, and I love this glossy accent. I can't believe how many things I just want to pop off the page a little bit more, and this does the trick. So when you go to do this, now if you don't, I didn't put buttonholes in this one. I didn't want to mess with the design. You could definitely punch your buttonholes in before you use the glossy accent. But this one, I'm not going to put buttonholes in it. It's going to be an embellishment that's going to go on a page. And what I do when I'm using this, you don't want to shake this bottle. It will cause air bubbles, and you don't want air bubbles. And the one thing about this product is it likes to clog after it sits for a few days. So just take a pin to unclog it. And then again, don't shake it. You're going to start, I like to start on the outside slowly, giving it a nice stream. That way it'll fall towards the end of the thing that you're embellishing. And then I'll come towards the center and come in and make a circle. And give it a moment, because it will self-level a little bit. And once it starts to do that, you want to be very, very careful not to shake it around too much. I give it a little bit of a tilt just to help it along. And whatever parts are not filling in, I'll come back and put light amounts to help that fluid find its way to those crevices. And I go right to the edge of the button. It doesn't seem to want to run over. It's a nice consistency. Just take your time. And that looks pretty good to me. So I will come back to it in a few minutes to make sure, looking really close, that I don't see any little air bubbles. And if you do, after a few minutes, you can take a needle and just poke them, or try to slide them a little bit off to the side till they pop. You might find one or two here or there, but you'll want to do that early on while it's still very wet, because if you come back to this in 20 minutes and you try to remove an air bubble, you're going to put dents in it. It's going to already be tacky and starting the drying process. So check your air bubbles early on. I would put this up on a shelf and forget about it until the next day, just so that I know I gave it ample time to dry. Because I'm impatient, and if I don't put it up somewhere, I'll be messing with it and mess it up. But that's the how-to to do these buttons. They were very easy, and they're so cute. I just adore the way they come out, especially with the oxide inks, the embossing technique, and everything else. So let me know if you have any questions. Leave comments. This is a brand new channel. I don't post very many videos at all, but I look forward to any feedback. Thank you, and have a great day, everybody.